Okay, so here we are in the shop. I've got a 1966 Ford Mustang, affectionately known as the Rustang. I bought it from a gentleman who was selling it for a friend, and it was on a trailer, and I didn't look it over too closely, but the price was right, so we bought it. And I figured I could fix a little rust and we'd be on our way. So anyway, 2 years later, I'm still picking away at it. A lot of rust where the battery was from the inside. The front frame rails aren't too bad. I've got to replace those bolts, the nuts for the front bumper. Cowl's not too bad. I'm going to try to do a partial removal of the cowl so I can get inside there and paint it. I have been doing the floor pans. I've got the driver's side out right now. Just got it out. I'm reworking the torque box cover and the rear frame rail. I got a piece missing out of it. I do have the front pretty well tacked in. It's not fully welded. I got to do a seam weld all the way through here. Fully weld it on the outside and underneath, and then do the seam sealer and all that. I had to replace the passenger side frame rail. It was in pretty bad shape. The gentleman that had it before me, or his buddy, they did the rear quarter panels already, and so that's kind of a help that they've got that done. I've replaced the passenger side of the trunk. The guys that were working on it before me, you see the old braze welding there? They did a really good job of it. That stuff is really stuck. So I'm not going to try to take it out. I'm just going to patch around it and get by. I've still got this side to do, and this rear section of this driver's side frame rail is pretty well tweaked. So I still got tons of work to do. Debating about whether to replace the rear tail panel. You see right there below the fuel tank opening that apparently has gotten rear-ended at some point in its life. And this tail panel sets in about an inch from tail light to tail light. There's about an inch inward gap in there. So I think it's supposed to have a little bit of a gap, but not an inch. You can kind of see it there with the bow right in there. So that new piece is 70 bucks. I'm already there. I think about 15 spot welds to drill out, and I could have that out and replaced, and wouldn't have any Bondo in it. So quarter panel on this side is new. I'm thinking about reskinning the door. The guy that had it before me, he tried taking paint off and then didn't put anything on it. So now I got a pretty good mess on my hands on this. Really debating about a door skin. Like I said, there's a lot of rust, and really thinking about trying the skin and see how it works. I've never done one, but there's always a first time for everything, right? Some rust in the inner fenders here. I've got new pieces here to cut out and put in. Same with the cowl section here. Got a little hole. This is all rusting out in here. Got a pretty good hole here. I think everything else is okay in there, but I need to get in here and paint. So I'm thinking about maybe just opening one end of it and getting in there and sanding it and shooting it with some spray paint or something, just so I'll have it. I'll know it's there and it'll bug the crap out of me. So I've got a motor for it. We got a I live in farming country in the panhandle of Oklahoma. There was a guy just north of me up in Kansas, had an irrigation motor. It just happened to be a Ford 200 inline 6, fresh overhaul. I got it for, I think, 500 bucks, so I thought it was a pretty good buy. So I just bought a new, freshly overhauled motor. I'll move everything over on it. I've got it under wraps over here. So it's just waiting to go in and be ran. We didn't want to do anything fancy. This is more of a restoration than anything. There's the 52 Chevy and my little Harley bobber. I got to get it off the trailer. I got to redo the trailer. That thing is an accident waiting to happen. So anyway, kind of a picture of the shop. All my goodies. My cheesy 70s music's on. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I got my Easy Rider poster. I got that in the Army in 1985. Free poster out of Easy Rider magazine. So, and I don't know where the Sturgis sign come from, but I ended up with it. So anyway, looks pretty cool. So anyway, I'm still practicing with YouTube. Maybe I'll get me a camera if I want to keep this up and see how things go and see how many views I get. I'm just kind of doing this to play around and not really looking for views, just kind of an archive for my videos. I've lost several videos on this project and the bobber. I lost some videos off of that when my computer crashed, and so anyway, I didn't have them back up. So remember to back your stuff up. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll keep playing with it, and if I keep liking it, I may get me a camera and a tripod. So you guys take care, and appreciate you watching. Thanks.